Nelly, thank you so much for joining us today. I think it's usually our pleasure to mix with our investors, understand their investment journey, and listen to, their story.
Yes.
And we're very privileged to have you today.
Thank you.
And we would just like to know a little bit more about Nelly.
Okay. My name is Nelly Mwangi, and my social name is really nice for interest's sake. I have lived in the UK for the last 30 years. And obviously, I am a mother, I'm a wife, and of course, also I'm a businesswoman. So that is how I would describe myself.
Why the UK?
A very good question. Why the UK is because this is where I found myself about 30 years ago. I think my story is a little bit complicated because when I was coming to the UK, I was coming for a very short time. And obviously, I'm still here 30 years later.
Interesting.
Yes. However, I must put it that way. I still keep in touch with my roots. I'm very well conversant with what happens in the country. And I probably visit Kenya twice or 3 times a year, whenever is possible.
Oh, nice.
Except now that we have the COVID, yes.
Yes. But we hope everything will be better so that at least we have our people back home once in a while.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So it's very interesting. You've started by saying you're a business lady. How has that journey been? Especially, looking at you running a business far from home. How has it been for you?
I would say part of it has been very challenging, especially when you are in outside the country. And one of the things I would say to you, mother, is that when you run a business like I do in this country, is that you still feel that obviously you are second-class citizen. And therefore, as you stay along, when I came 30 years ago, I was very geared. Oh my God, I'm in a fast world, things are different. And of course, it was hard to adjust. However, as I stayed along, I got accustomed to the environment and worked. I did work with an organization. I worked for the BBC then. And of course, having worked and having done business previously, before I came here, just to take you a little bit back, I had a business in Kenya, which was very interesting because it was I started the first house girls bureau in Kenya, and it was something very new in the country, yes. But having left that and then come to another country to adjust was very difficult. And as you stay along, the environment gives you a way to navigate. However, as you stay along again, now you start getting drawn to your own country. And as I started coming to Kenya, and of course you see, the country is progressing, things are getting better. Of course, for me, my journey has been also a journey of mixed feelings, because when I left Kenya, Kenya wasn't as collapsed as it is right now, to say the least. Corruption wasn't in the level it is in, and therefore I'm a breed of a very corrupt-free environment. Now to come back and find that probably things that I would access easily were a little bit difficult to access was sort of not very sure how and where to start. But as we go along, you start understanding the situation, you start understanding the dynamics of poverty and opportunities. And that is what I would say. Probably that is what has motivated me to try and connect and compare the both worlds and thinking, and probably as a diasporian, one of the things I thought is that, well, probably I can take this change to Kenya. Probably, are there still people who have the same thoughts? Are there still people who are corrupt-free in Kenya? Are there still people with the, who work for the benefit of country, or who would like to see good things in a country? Or is it just corruption as it is being told in the media, or you experience it firsthand? But, that's just another story altogether,
Yes. Yes, but I totally understand where you're coming from.
Yes.
I think even the state of our country might not be very conducive, especially for someone who's been in the diaspora for a while. But there's always room for change. I think there are people who are coming up in the government and the society to just make the place a bit better. Yeah.
Yes.
And so, just looking at your life from the business perspective, how did you able now to move from a business, mindset to now even starting investing? Yeah. How has your investment journey been, per se?
I would say that started a while ago, about 13 or 14 years ago.
Oh, great.
And, and that started mostly not the investment. The investment bit started a little bit earlier, because what happened is that at a very early age, when Equity wanted to, to bring their presence in the UK, I was one of the first people that they had contact with. But then again, I was also very new. I wasn't even sure that this bank is really giving what is saying is what it will deliver. However, I took a list with them, and I also was one of the beneficiaries of the bank by committing with them to buy an apartment. People didn't believe in them. I introduced a few of my fellow diasporians. They didn't believe it, but I did believe in their vision, and to my surprise, they delivered. I mean, the project that they showed me, and I said, oh, if you finance this, I would take it, and for me, that was a journey of hope, and having had an apartment of my own where I can come just open and sleep and not having to pay anybody rent was really, really exciting. And after that, then that story was gone. I have a place to stay, and that is done. And then later on, I was invited by the Marketing Society of Kenya, because I was the second, or we were only two people from the diaspora, the first diasporians to be awarded the Tribal Blazier Awards by the Marketing Society of Kenya for a project we had done for them in the UK. So when I came, I then met a lot of people when they were doing their launching, and that is when I met this company called Optivent. They were very new. They were just marketing themselves. They were introducing themselves to the market. And so I met their CEO then. He was just a young guy. And he said to me, and I said to him also, you're selling lard. I had never owned a piece of lard. I didn't know how you buy lard, this and that. And so when I came over back to the UK, I then organized a group of ladies that we used to have coffee together, and said, instead of us doing merry-go-round, which we still do here as well, we do merry-go-round. I said, why don't we buy a piece of lard together and probably construct houses for sale? And to be honest with you, probably Optivent can tell you, we were the first group called Wananchi Diaspora Investment, which I formed as the charity. And we bought 24 pieces of land in Kitengela. And to our surprise, they delivered. They gave us the titles, this and that. It was so exciting. It was just really exciting. But the sad bit is that once a project bypasses 5 years, so by 5 years, we had not been able to construct as we wanted, but we had completed the buying of the pieces of land. So now you can imagine, after 7 years of association, people change their minds, finances change, people change jobs, others get married, others get older, visions change.
Yes, yes.
So it's then I started now thinking, oh, what else can we do? Where else can I invest? And during the COVID is when now, obviously, things changed a lot and people are locked. And during that time, obviously, what do? A lot. You search a lot in the internet,
Yes.
this and that. And I had just graduated from my master's degree because I did a social work master's program, which I graduated in 2019. So for me, I was in a place where do I do a do I do a consultation job, or what do I do? And when COVID came now, people started forming groups, and these groups were meant to support each other. If somebody dies, then you have these Zooms and all that. And that is where now somebody comes and posts TSAVO. And I'm like, what is this? This guy is trying to sell us. This guy is trying to tell us about holidays when we can't even move, you know?
Oh, because the TSAVO, you know, Nile
and I was like, oh God, no, I'm not buying a holiday. You know, yes. What if I die during the COVID? And then I thought to myself, oh, how can he be selling holidays at this time? But anyway, I went through the program, the project, and he said, I have never seen this company. I've never heard of them. But I called him anyway. His name is Alex. And I said to him, oh, can you tell me a little bit more about this? And that's when he explained to me. And he sent me a video. And I went through the video. And I also went through the YouTube. I Googled, I checked. And I was shocked. To say the least that I was shocked is because is the first place I was chatting to a group of friends in a Zoom, and I mentioned, oh, have you heard this group called TSAVO? I saw there are some people. Has anybody heard? And within that Zoom, two of my friends who are sisters, and one of them was an investor. One was working with me in the investment of Optiv and said, oh yes, I've already invested in 2 projects. I said, what? And you've never told us, you know, that's me now saying, oh, I never thought you'd be interested with apartments. I said, what do you mean? So that is where now my story now changed again. And I thought to myself, I think this is very, very good. And I decided now to honestly do the next thing. That was to contact TSAVO themselves. And obviously the rest is history.
Yes.
And I decided to share this story with another group whereby in their group, they had a very young couple. Their names is George and Mother. And they were like, oh my God. They were just about to invest in something else, and something that was very funny because it was a multi-level investment. And they were saying, oh, there's this friend of ours. They don't have to work. They're making this money. So I listened to the story and I said, no, I don't believe there is anything like that. I said, you know, with property, you cannot go wrong. And I said, have a look at this. Let me know. And I remembered a lot of people who have been telling me, oh, we would like to buy a house. We would like to do this. And, you know, over the times, obviously, I allow people to stay in my apartment, one of my apartments that I bought during those days with equity. And I feel sad because they have lived in the diaspora for over 25 years. But when they come there, they have to look for a place to go. And sometimes you might be traveling because you're traveling for a funeral, for something, an emergency, and probably you had not planned. So for me, the reason I've given that story in detail is because for me, it was a true story that really attracted me and took me to TSAVO. And probably one of the greatest positive moves that has happened during the COVID season.
Yes.
And that is what I would say to you. That is how I came to learn about your organization.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I'm glad we were able to pop up in one of the
Yes.
groups that you're in, you know, for you to just interact with Tsavo and actually notice that this is not the holiday homes or holiday affairs, rather investments. And you've said something very important. So very many people in the diaspora, you know, when they think of investments or investing back home, they start by thinking, you know, where do I buy this piece of land? You know, I've seen land going at affordable prices. Can I really fast run from towards land before I start thinking of a house? I don't know what shifted, because, you know, at some point you started investing in land and then you moved to apartments and housing. Yeah. What you know, helped you in making such a decision? What shifted your mind, and what encouraged you to go towards housing rather than just banking on land?
What I would say to you is that sometimes when you live in the diaspora, the system is so set and it's so systematic, it's so strategized in a way that you are accustomed to a certain way of living. And most of the people in life don't like to shift their changes. And of course, when you're in the diaspora, we are in a comfort zone in a way that probably we don't miss the basics unless you're very unfortunate. But again, in life, I think you have to shift your mind, because when I look at everything around, even I know there are a lot of people selling apartments, there are a lot of people selling land. But for me, specifically, if I may talk about TSAVO, what shifted my mind mostly is because there is no that party between me and TSAVO. I'm dealing with TSAVO themselves directly. That to me is very important, because there's that access. And most of the people in the diaspora, why they don't invest and why I would request them to try TSAVO is because once you are borrowing money to buy something in Kenya, first and foremost, the bank is asking you for money to buy the loan. I don't think I'll be in their best books right now, but that is the truth. However, for you to give people that direct accessibility without a lot of, what happens is that buying a property becomes a very complicated story. And I will say to you that the reason a lot of people don't buy houses in Kenya or property in Kenya, not because they don't have money, it's a question of thinking before you go and commit yourself to borrowing, you have to bring this, you have to bring this, you have to bring this. And sometimes it's not possible, because the way the things are set here, probably you're working for an agency, you're working for a few agencies, and when you go to a bank, they want to know you approve of earnings. And maybe your earnings are not like, you are not a teacher, such that the TSC is offering you, is giving you pay slips and all that. You're going to work somewhere in an agency in East London, the other one in West London, and for you bring your resources together and then decide, I want to bring these resources together and buy something. So I think it's a very clever thing at this age and time for TSAVO to have given people that opportunity. And that, to me, that is what made me change my mind. And the second point is, yes, you buy a piece of land. It's good to have that piece of land. Who is going to be the manager? Who is going to facilitate? Who is going to do all these buildings for me? Who is going to run up and down for me? Will they stop their working? Will they stop what they do for me? We've had stories, and I'm sure you've read that mother, probably not experienced, but read, where people say they are building a flat, but somebody is building a neighbor's and sending you photos. And those are true stories. And, they have made people really lose hope in investing in the diaspora. And I like, for me to say the least is, I enjoy whenever I read your emails telling me, oh, your flat is up to here. I just feel so happy, because I know it is up to there.
Yes.
Do I hold my resources, or do I send them so that they finish quickly? So that is one of the things that has moved me, because at my age, I would rather see a finished product rather than starting. I'm not saying that is bad, but it all depends with how much energy do you have to run up and down.
Yeah. And
Yes.
it's very true. I think, speaking of credibility, the real estate
Yes.
industry in Kenya has not really proven that. I think
Yes.
very many people have burnt their fingers through family members, through third parties, and
Yes.
unfortunately through even developers. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
yes. And I'm glad you have been able to testify the credibility of TSAVO, that you're
Yes, I
able
have.
to track online, the process, the behind your development, or rather behind your investment. So you're able to just track that. And maybe what
And
would
I
you
also
tell?
have friends who are receiving rent
Oh, yes.
through TSAVO already, yeah, who are my close friends. And they keep
Yes.
saying to me, oh, if we go, I would have to buy you lunch now, so for sure it is, yeah.
Yeah. What would you just advise someone who's thinking of now investing?
Oh my God, I believe in your dream. I would advise them to invest, because where we are going, I will take you back to your question of what made me shift my mind. What made me shift my mind as well is that I wished that opportunity was there 15 years ago. I would probably have bought so many apartments, because when you reach a certain age, or when you are investing, there comes a time when you want money. If you are young, your children will go to school and you want to have solid cash. If you are aging like me and looking to retire, you will want to have solid cash to go for a cruise or something. So you have to look at what is quicker. I think investing in the real estate is you're looking at really having solid cash, because obviously when we look at your system of selling, it is so good in the sense that you not only sell to me an apartment and leave me hanging, you are selling and saying, once your apartment is finished, we also get you tenants. So I think you are looking, the aftercare and the whatever is giving me a way to think, well, if I invested in shares, I'm looking at somebody to invest my money so that my money can grow. So I think that is, yes. Yes. Okay. And at the same time as well, you cannot be homeless in Kenya. You don't have to go and ask mother to give you an accommodation. You can only just ring and say, oh, I would want the tenant right now to be given a notice. Probably next year I will be coming and probably spending a few months in Kenya,
Yes.
So
I think we've tried to make it as flexible as possible. Because definitely most diaspora people who are coming, they would like to stay in the apartment for a few days before they go back to the diaspora. And so with that, we understand. And of course, we allow you to just give a notice and say, I want to live in my apartment, and even experience what we are offering to the residents who are paying you rent.
or just leave a few apartments and say, well, in case your apartment is completely occupied, we can have you to live here and see how it is. Just allow some to have Airbnb. Absolutely.
It's very true. So how do you think we can reach Kenyans in the diaspora? Because whatever message we're trying to give is FIRE. So financial independence, retire early, where your money now starts working for you. You see the pointers that you've brought out, you want a peaceful investment, meaning passive. You're not there running around to ensure that money is coming, every time. But, having something that, allows you to earn while you sleep.
Yes.
So how do you think we can get this message to the Kenyans in the diaspora, where, just to show that TSAVO is beyond the building? We are very passionate about enabling Kenyans achieve financial independence.
You can, one of the things that you can reach us is through us spreading the word and telling the people that we are truly we are truly members. And I think that in itself, it's just credible enough. Then the second thing is that we want you here of giving us offers. The landowners are giving us an offer. I can't wait when you float and say, oh, we have this apartment for, for just giving back for us to laugh or for late, you know.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you know, I'm a very lucky number. I think I'll just win one like that. So that's one of the things you must make sure your directors see that we need one to be given. Even company vehicles they offer, they say, oh, we are having this, so we are having this, laugh for this and that, or those who you call this and that. So we are looking for that.
Yeah.
The other thing is that you probably could have I know you try to do a lot of media coverage, but again, you know, I think the way to reach us is just to really probably have a road show sometimes and show us exactly where you are. And the other thing is that a lot of people haven't known about you as yet. But I think now a few people have started knowing about you. I'm just wondering, where have you been when you sold the first apartments, you know, really, because it is really, for sure, it is very credible. We are having to talk about you next coming Saturday. There's a group of people who really want to hear that story, and they're young people. But it would be nice for you to come over so that you also encourage the diasporians, the young diaspora Kenyans who were born and bred here, who actually also fit in the story of TSAVO, because you know, I think it would be very nice for them to know that.
Thank you. Mm. Yes. I think. Mm-hmm.
So for me, I think that's what you are. Yeah. Mm.
Yes, I think. Thank you for that.
Yes.
We really hope that we'll have time to come to the diaspora, of course, and have as much impact as possible to all our investors so that they can preach the message that you're preaching. Yeah, I believe if you can speak like this, if you meet another diaspora, Kenyan in diaspora, they will actually, you know, believe in this dream, that this thing can actually happen, that fire is actually true.
Yeah,
so
you said fire is
financial independence, retire early.
Fire. I had not even caught that. Financial. I know about fire because I joined in the independence, retire early. Wow.
Early, yes. And for us, retiring early is just not actually leaving your job. No, but actually being able to
having that financial
attend to your purpose. You know, having enough cash flow that will sort you to do whatever you love doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah? Yes. So we hope that this message can reach as many people as possible. Hoping that everyone who will watch this video will, you know, be even interested enough to question. And let them reach out to you. You have been a very great ambassador to us.
Absolutely.
And we are very grateful that you've chosen us to take us for us to take you through this fire journey.
Thank you.
As your fire partner.
Thank you. Yes.
So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you,
really
Mother.
Appreciate. Maybe
we
you can
can't
say
wait to host
something
you.
Short.
Yes, I want to say I'm very, very grateful. I feel like a part of family in TSAVO, and we can't wait to host you guys in the UK, and also for you to come and motivate the young people, you know, and know that there is investment. You know, sometimes people think that investments is for old people. When you go somewhere and you are a little bit elder, you say, huyu amekula maisha sana, she's, you know, they have eaten money, they have worked for all those years. But if you start early, you know, and this is what I'm talking about, financial independence. And I'm so proud that we have one of the youngest members of our group that that we are meeting on the 26th to have invested, and they are going to be investing in a second investment with you. Yeah. That's how much they believe. They are yet 30, so that is what the dream is all about.
Yes, that's true. That's true. So we hope everyone.
Thank you so much. Okay, sorry,
I'm saying we hope everyone who would, just watch this video, young, old, hopefully that they would be encouraged. Yes. That this journey can actually be started at any time. It's never too late to invest.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for making us believe in you, and really telling us as it is, and delivering as well, and insisting and reminding us this and that. And so I'm grateful. I'm glad I've invested with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you so much for trusting in us and even giving us a few minutes of your time today. I hope it was worth it, and I believe this message will reach and impact very many people in the diaspora.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mother.